right now. I'm in Asheville, North Carolina, in the
Oh, how
mountains.
beautiful.
So yeah, thank you. Thank you. Well, Claire, I'm so excited about your topic today, the feminine wild, accessing cosmic intelligence. And let me just share, gotta move out of Twitch here so I can share your bio with everybody. And I think everyone in my audience knows you already, but just in case, let me just introduce you in this way. So Claire Dubois is the founder and CEO of treesisters.org. And Claire, the birds are singing for you here.
Oh, they're gorgeous.
A global women's movement spanning almost 200 countries that has collectively funded the planting of over 8 million trees. And Claire, thank you so much for this work that you and Tree Sisters are doing. It's just incredible. So Tree Sisters is a social change movement and a tropical reforestation organization working towards normalizing cultural reciprocity with nature. The aim of both Clare and Tree Sisters is to make it as normal as possible to give back to nature as it currently is to take nature for granted. Yes, while supporting humanity in its transition from a consumer species to a restorer species. Before founding Tree Sisters, Clare worked internationally for over 2 decades, coaching business leaders and facilitating group behavior change processes in multiple sectors. Known for her direct catalytic energy, her inspirational speaking, and her holistic approach to collective transformation, Clare is a walking invitation to anyone ready to step up and step in on behalf of our planet. So Clare, to begin today, could you share with us 1 or 2 key learnings that you've gained on your path to doing this amazing work that you do?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for inviting me to be part of this, Jocelyn. And we have to arrange for you to have a much shorter bio for me. Like 2 sentences will be just fine.
Okay.
And to say to everybody that's here, we're in the middle of power cuts in California, and we have one right now, which means I'm in a neighbor's house, and I have no control over the internet. And it has been known to short out. So I'm like hanging on the technological thread of like, please, can this work? If it doesn't, I have to reboot it. I'll be gone for about 2 minutes, but let's just pray that it works.
We will hang on and wait for you if needed.
So yeah, if there's a gap, just imagine really intelligent sounding things. Okay. And forgive me for being...
Lots of trees being planted, and we'll send that prayer out.
Oh yeah, it's frazzling. I mean, there'll be people here who are in California, but this has just been the most intense flipping 2 months of just like, yeah. And so last night it was like, we're having a windstorm, there'll be fires, everybody, you know, people were evacuating ahead of time. And I'm so over this. I am like so over this. And like looking at your green grass, and we haven't had rain for 6 months, and you know, just to be able to see green grass again, I'm like, oh, it'd be so nice. Anyway, so now that you're all forgiving me in advance, 2 things that I've learned. Okay, what would the 2 biggest things be? Gosh, do you know what? I think the biggest thing would have to be, there is nothing more important than self-care. Number 1. And I'm shit at it, but it doesn't mean that it's not the most important thing. And why am I saying that? Not just because I need to keep my body going so that I can do the work. I'm saying that because self-care is an act of self-love and an act of wisdom. And the wisdom of it is, especially if you're living through what we're living through here in terms of like the psychotic nature of the politics, the insanity that's going on, the climate change, all of that. When you're dealing with, and it's happening everywhere because of COVID and the 1,000,001 things that are difficult in our world right now. When the crazies are doing the crazies, it's the easiest thing in the world to hook your attention into it and get swallowed by frequencies of consciousness that will yank you out of your center, and render you incapable of listening to the deeper wisdom that is trying to come through your body. Self-care for me now is specifically about prioritizing a different frequency of energy in my body that allows me to stay soft, to stay gentle, to stay non-reactive, to stay non-polarized, to stay not buying into the catastrophizing, if that's even a word, that's going on, not buying into the insanity whilst being aware of it. It's like, you can't not, I'm not saying switch off and just go la la la, but it's like, there's got to be a way that we can anchor ourselves in a frequency through which we can still hear the body say, I need water, I need sleep, there's something else I need you to hear, I need you to reflect on this, I need this to arise through your body. If we're not slow enough energetically, if we're not soft enough energetically, you can't hear. You just can't hear. And if you can't hear, you'll hear what is freaking out at the noisy decibel levels of all the mess that's going on. And if you get sucked into the mess, you're going to fry your nervous system, and then frankly, you're just reactive rather than responsive. So that's one of the biggest things that I am still learning, and it's getting harder and harder. So it's better and better yoga. It's like, if you can stay still in a hurricane, then you've really mastered your practice. Well, we've got a hurricane of insanity going on right now, and genuine difficulty. Like, this is frightening here. And so staying soft, number one, stay soft, because then you can listen for the deeper wisdom of your own self, and you can also be watered by the river of your own self. So that's the first one. What's the second one?
Yeah, thank you for that, Claire. It's so needed. And yeah, we need to be able to connect with all this intelligence around us instead of what's on the news or whatever, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And the second thing I would say, I mean, God, I could answer that one question for about an hour, because there's so many massive learnings. The second one that comes to mind, and I'll just trust the order with which it comes, is nothing matters more than love. And what I mean by that is how your love motivates you in your world. So how my love motivates me in my world. What the love that I am is expressing to me through my grief, through my passion, through my creativity, through whatever is arising through me. That love will move me into action way more than my insecurities, my fears, the stories that I tell myself. Why am I not good enough to try this? Why would people not believe me if I tried that? All the neurotic lies that are embedded in our culture around what it means to be female, all the neurotic lies that we've had fed into us, conditioned through our upbringings and our cultures, whatever they are, that tell us that we're less than, or that we are, that what moves through us isn't valid or isn't worth cherishing. What moves through us, if we can fully, like I say, soften and allow what is there to come through, will be love-based as women. And that could be fierce love. I'm not saying it needs to be polite or pretty or even, digestible for others, so long as it is arising through that passionate heart that loves. And so trusting the love that moves through me, and giving that my attention more than my fears and my doubts and all the reasons why. There's a million reasons why I would never have done Tree Sisters, which is almost at 13 million trees now, by the way, and we're going for 15 before Christmas. There are so many reasons why I was not capable of creating Tree Sisters. So many more reasons why I wasn't capable than any reasons why I was, but I chose to put my energy behind the love that I am, that didn't need to understand how I was going to do it, but needed to trust that there was something in me that I could bring to the table. So the love that you are knows what you're for. And if you give yourself to yourself, life will move you into the river of your own fullness. But if you decide to put your energy where your fears and your insecurities are, they'll win. They'll just win. And life, you know, and the insanity of life wants it to win because it wants women to stay down and it wants us to stay small and it wants to control us. And we're not here to be small and we're not here to be controlled. And love is not small and love is not here to be controlled. So yeah, that's what I would say. Totally unexpected answers, but there you go. You never know what's going to come out of my mouth.
Wow, thank you, Claire. It was an amazing quote that you just said. It was the love that is within us knows what we are. I believe that's what you said. That I just want to like paste that all over so everybody can see. It's so powerful because yes, there's this fierceness, right, that we can access inside of us, and we need to let that loose on the world now, as I know you are quite a stand for.
Just a little. I'm surprised you noticed. I'm so subtle about it.
Yes. Well, and could you share with us too, what is your vision for 2021 and beyond?
Gosh, what's my vision for 2021 and beyond? You can tell I'm prepared, can't you?
These are the best answers. No rehearsals.
Well, I think it's going to be a serious mess, I have to say. I think it's going to be a massive mess, which is why self-care is number one, because we cannot create a new world without the death of the old. And the old is putting up its death throes. And death throes are incredibly strong. And when you witness something fighting for its life, you'll see superhuman strength and you'll feel like you haven't got a chance. But actually, the thing about the old system is it's not rooted in truth or love or care or respect or reverence or cherishing of life or people at all. Therefore, it cannot stand. It cannot stay. Its days are numbered. You know, when I ask Vandana Shiva how she smiles when she talks about Monsanto, she just said, oh, they're just little boys. You know, they're just little boys. And I'm there going, it's just like, you know, they're killing the world. And she's just like, well, it can't last because it's not for life. And then when you talk to Amazonian shamans or the shamans of Colombia or, you know, Latin America, they'll say, after about 2026, the only things that will survive on this planet will arise out of the feminine principle. So I think 2021 is going to be a combination of the death throes of the old. We're going to see a lot of collapse happening. It's going to be frightening. They're trying to control us. It's fairly obvious. And it's going to be uncomfortable. At the same time, I feel like truth and love and a recognition of what we're not. It's like this enormous wake up from the slumber that we've been in collectively, which has basically allowed us to collude with a system that requires the death of nature in order to survive. That's our current economy. We've all colluded with it. We've gone along with it. That's been normalized. And suddenly the insanity of that is surfacing. So there's this very uncomfortable patch where we're suddenly going, wow, our entire way of life is unsustainable. All the systems that drive it are unsustainable. The powers that be are still trying to drive those systems. And the systems need to go. And so it's like inside each of us are these pieces of the jigsaw, because we've all chosen to incarnate right now. I really believe that we're here because we've got something to give. And so all of us are capable of holding a frequency that becomes like the nodes of this woven tapestry where we're all holding this belief that there is a different way. And so, and this is part of the process that we'll be doing today, where if we can hold enough intention, you know, everything that manifests in spirit first. Everything is thought first. And so if we can bring through a vibrational reality that is only a stand for respect of nature, only a stand for respect for humanity, only willing to create a future that actually is a future for our children and is love-based and takes care of all. If we can do that, and hold that and hold our center and not get dragged into the insanity next year, I think what we'll find is there'll be new blueprints rising, new blueprints of possibilities that will be wildly collaborative and co-creative and absolutely beautiful, that we'll be able to hook into and add our energy to. So I think it's going to be, sorry, I'm queen realism here. I think it's going to be a shit show inside of which there is greater moments of beauty and meaning and poetry and raw, loving, naked humanity than we've ever seen before, because we're decloaking the bullshit. And those moments of moving beyond collective insanity into a chosen, consciously woven sanity, I think is going to bring more meaning, more hopefulness, more people activated into action, new levels of permission inside of each of us that we give ourselves, more projects that have been sat on the back burner, no longer able to be on the back burner anymore, more mega businesses, etc. It's already happening, turning around and going, oh, we've got to be the change. You know, there's going to be more surprising shifts. I think the compass, our moral compass and our ecological compass, is going to shift towards planetary stewardship more in the space of 2021 than we've ever seen in the last 40 years. I think it's going to be a wild ride, absolutely wild ride. And I don't think any of us can imagine it, but I think the responsibility that each of us have is to recognize our own magnificence above anything else. Anything else is to realize our immensity, is to realize that we're not limited by cultural conditioning, that we're not limited by our bodies, that we're not limited, we are energetically hooked into a limitless cosmos, and therefore there is a vast amount that we could manifest in this reality if we were to stop playing small. And that basically means stop believing that we're small, and that means stop allowing our smallness have its way with us. We need to start letting our magnificence have its way with us. If we can each do that, everybody on this call, 200 of us here, 200 people, completely given to calling forth our own magnificence, or at least unleashing it, taking our brakes off. If we could do that, and then everybody that we're in contact with, we're an invitation for them to do that, and nothing less than the fullness that we are is all right for us, then we start to light the kind of fire that we want to see run rampant around this planet, which is unleashed potential on behalf of life. That's damned exciting to me.
Sure is.
I want that. I just want that. I want a bunch of lunatic, unleashed people running around believing in a reality that we're going to birth because we refuse not to birth it.
Yes. Well, this is the great paradox now, right? We're living in this system that we feel it's hard to figure out how we're going to get out of it. And yet we know it's insane. And we know that there's a different way. And the more we lean into that new way, I love what you're sharing here. Let our magnificence have its way with us.
Yeah, we're the river, you know, we're the river. Undam. We need to undam ourselves and stop playing like everybody else has dammed us up. It's like, yes, we may have had all manner of things that have dammed us up in our lives. And yes, they all hurt. And I'm not undercutting any of them, but God damn, aren't we over them yet? Do we have to lock our life force up in our own limitations? Can we just give ourselves permission to just say, to hell with it? I'm done. I need all of me now. I need all of me. I need all of me. That's it. That's it.
Yes. Yes.
And wherever I've hooked myself up, it's got to come back and be here now. And that's all of our journeys.
Yes, amazing. Well, I know that you have a beautiful process to share with us that's going to help us in this, in exactly what you're speaking about. So I will let you take the floor then, Claire, and share this with us today.
Oh, bless you. So, Jocelyn, I just love you. So And if you could just send some of your green grass energy my way, and like just like literally just imagine me like, oh my God, I want the grass desperately. My Britishness has like, I have not been able to get home this year to roll in green grass, which I usually do over the summer, get out of the heat here. Of course, with COVID, I couldn't do it. So like, I'm like starved of
Sending
green.
you all of this green energy through to you.
Ah.
And yes, love you so much too. And just so glad that we get to have these conversations and share this with so many people.
Yeah, periodically.
Every once in a while.
So many of you, there's some friends popping up here. So you've heard me say a lot of this stuff over and over again, but I'm going to say it again anyway, because for the people that haven't heard it, and also because you can't hear it enough. I just don't believe you can hear it enough. So I'm just going to give you a little like contexty thing, and then we're going to drop into a process that is around activating your cosmic intelligence, which we're going to do through the spiral. So those of you that know Tree Sisters, those of you that don't know Tree Sisters, I want you to know Tree Sisters, but those of you that don't, when I had the car crash in which I was actually given the project, so I was skidding on ice, I hit a tree, the tree stopped me from going over an edge, and then a voice started talking to me, and it basically gave me the project. One of the things it said was, you have to mobilize the women are the missing piece. Women are the womb carriers, and Earth is womb. And it spoke about the intelligence of the womb, the intelligence of the planet, the two things being the same thing, like this incredible link between the creative vessel that sits inside a woman's body and the creative vessel that is our planet. And I heard then, women have to remember who and what they really are. Feminine consciousness has to be reinstated or it's over. Okay, so that's like the cradle with which everything that I've ever done has arisen out of. Women have to remember who and what they really are. Feminine consciousness has to be reinstated or it's over. Now, that is inside of men as well as women. So this is not a male disqualification, but there is a level of feminine leadership that's been lost to the world because of what's happened to us. And we all know what's happened to us. So what's feminine consciousness? Now, if you're in Latin America, feminine consciousness is the intelligence of nature. There's no separation. That's what feminine consciousness actually is, which is interesting because when I talk about feminine nature-based leadership, I'm talking about the leadership that arises through women when they're in touch with their nature, that is arising out of nature. So that essentially we are that. There is no separation. And when you think about the cosmic nature of our wombs, the cyclical nature of our energies, the cyclical nature of the seasons, of the moon, how we're all affected by all of it, but actually more than that, how the water that's in our blood right now was in the dinosaurs. Like there is no more water now than there was when the first amoebas decided to, it's like it's all the same water. That's in us. We are encoded with it. Our genetics are encoded with so much what they call junk DNA, but that junk DNA happens to be the DNA of every living thing on this planet. So we are encoded with the intelligence of every living thing on this planet. So right now, just think about what you are. Forget that you're a woman. You're an absolute out and out mystery. Like what, we're more bacteria than we are human being, for starters. So we're a bundle of masses of different consciousnesses in here. And we're a bundle of DNA that comes from every other living thing on this planet. And then we're animated by an intelligence that is cosmic, that arises in this body. This body eats planet and becomes bigger, then it leaves. And when it leaves, where do we go back to? Well, we go back into this oneness, this cosmic intelligence that we are not separate from at any point, except for the fact that we believe that we are. So this beingness that we are is an absolute mystery, is full of potential consciousness that can arise through it when we allow that to happen, including feminine consciousness, which is the consciousness of nature, which this body is made of. So then those of you that have heard me talk about the ancient Tibetan myth that when 1,000 goddesses gather, the divine feminine will rebirth through their combined energies, and the frequencies on the planet will shift from one of fear to one of love. So then we've got this invitation that has been seeded in Tibetan Buddhism for millennia that basically says there will be a point when sufficient women can move beyond their, let's say, their limitations of their ego, come together, make themselves available for the greater energy of the divine feminine to rebirth through their combined energies. And then transformation can happen on this planet. So again, where Jocelyn and I were talking at the beginning here of self-care, the ability to stay soft and present enough to allow for yourself to hear something. You're also making yourself available for something greater than all of us. It's like we're saying, life, I'm here, use me. You know, or to the goddess, I'm here, use me. Like, use this body. Like, I'm not invested in my ego. I'm much more invested in discovering what can come through me when I am available to higher frequencies, greater frequencies. And then when we can come together from that place and not try, not force, but allow the frequency to arise through us like a river rising, that can bring with it a consciousness that becomes undeniable in this world. That's what we need, an undeniable truth that literally takes over, because everything else falls away because it's not the truth. And that truth is the truth of life, of nature, of nature's consciousness. You'll probably also have heard me tell a story about a friend of mine whose 17-year-old son decided he was going to commit suicide, but actually gave her a final chance and said, I want to give you one last chance to tell me why I should try and stay when I have no future. And she called me up afterwards and she said, you won't believe what came out of my mouth. I said, women are going to learn to do magic again. And apparently, upon hearing that, he actually went, oh, yes, of course women are going to learn to do magic again. And he went off and was sort of like, okay, I can stay. And she was just completely stunned that it had come out of her mouth, didn't know where it had come from, rang me up and said, women have to understand, you know, to do magic again. And I'm like, yes, women have to remember who and what we really are. That's what I heard in the car crash, because we have the capacity to be in relationship with nature in a way that is alchemical, creative, transformational, evolutionary, because we're the birthers. And if we can open to higher frequencies of energy that move through us, anything is possible. This won't be able to get it. My teacher always says, trying to understand the workings of the universe with your mind is like trying to empty an ocean into a bucket using a spoon. Don't even try. We have the creative power of the universe sitting in our bodies, in our wombs. We have no idea what we can create. If we can be anchored in love, anchored in ourselves, anchored in truth, hooked up together, which is why Tree Sisters, so that we can actually be in relationship with each other, and then dare to dream a world that makes sense, then that frequency of life that is the feminine principle can start to have her way with us. Okay, there's the preamble.
Thank you.
No,
Women are learning to do magic again. It is happening. It's happening now.
it's happening.
I had not heard that story. What an incredible story. Thank you for sharing that.
I hold on to it, you know. We have to hold on to things. And I also hold on to the fact that the Kogis say that everything after 2026 will arise out of the feminine principle. That there is going to be life after 2026, because they can't see beyond it, but they know that it's going to arise out of the feminine principle. And that's also coming from the shamans in the Amazon. And the other thing that is important for me that I hang on to is I do not believe that the feminine would rise at the very last minute and go, and then it's all over. I just don't believe it. We can't understand why this has had to play out the way it is, why there is such loss, why there is such species loss, whether or not we can pull our planet back into balance, whether she has to do that herself. Like, we can't know that. That's not ours to know. All we can do at this moment is show up as fully and committedly and heartfully and reverently as we can, and let what wants to come through us come through us. So the process I want to do with you is a spiral-based process. Some of you may have done something like this with me before. It's an invocation of limitlessness. So I'm going to suggest that you sit well planted, that you want to start with your hands on the ground if you can, or on your body, so that you're very aware of your physical state. And why am I wanting to take you through this? Well, it all speaks to what we were speaking to at the beginning of this, because we're in a death process, and because we need to stay connected and unreactive in that death process, because we need to actually, as my husband would say, hold the through line of the world that we want, no matter what is falling away or what is reacting or what hell is breaking loose. There's this calm, centered, and what now? And what now? And who am I? And what am I doing? And who am I? And how do I bring my heart? And also this process is about dropping what we're not. Now, I'm not a big one for analysis, having gone through, decades of therapy and all the rest of the stuff that we all try to do to sort our heads out. I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying at this point on our planet, I think the energies are so strong that if we hold an intention, things can fall away without us needing to investigate them, without us needing to understand them, without us needing to get lost in them. We can feel them as sensation. We can invoke a higher frequency. They can fall away. And we can simply move towards our destination without needing to examine every signpost along the way, and without needing to endlessly contemplate our navel. Don't quote me on that. People will not appreciate me for it. I'm not negating navel gazing. I'm just saying at this point, there is a way for a stronger river to allow a transformational process that carries us. And if we're carried and not hanging on to the stones, and not hanging on to the riverbanks, and not analyzing everything that happens, we can be taken further and faster into our own evolution than at any time any of us have been alive. That's what I mean. Okay.
Oh.
Woohoo. So, let's just shake our bodies a minute. Let's just actually move some energy. Move your hands as much as you can. Like shake your bum, even if you're sitting on it. And let's just use the shaking to become present. Boobs, bellies, anything. Just wobble it all. And then let's stop, close our eyes, take a deep breath, and just feel the energy as it moves through our bodies. Notice what you notice. That is one of the most gold nuggety bits I could ever say to you. Notice what you notice. Notice what is happening. Notice what your awareness is drawing your attention to. That's the paintbrush and the canvas of your intuition. Notice what you notice. And give it breath. Whatever you're noticing, breathe into it. Take a deep breath in with the thought, I am everything that has ever existed. And as you breathe out, let gravity have you. Sink into your body. Long, deep breaths in. Breathing out as needed. But just sitting with that thought, I am everything that has ever existed. You are made of stardust and leaves and feathers and frog spawn and lava and whales and plankton. You're made of wind and perfume, the sound of honeybees, the howl of the wolves, wet soil, moist grass, dust. Just feel what happens in your body if you embrace that you are made of mountains and deserts and oceans. Just feel as if you're letting go of your edges or your perception of your edges with every breath. I am everything that has ever existed. It's all here now. Letting go of your jaw, softening your eyes, your tongue, your shoulders, the inside of your arms, your fingers. Breathing in, I am everything that has ever existed. And if there are clenches in your body, just notice them and give them breath. Like, we're opening here, we're just opening. And breathing in, I am the cosmos embodied as woman, or I am the cosmos embodied as man, or whatever gender you are, I am the cosmos embodied as. And breathe that in. And as you breathe it in, feel the cosmos is here in your cells, in every part of you. We're 0.0009 whatever percent matter. The rest of us is fresh air. Inside our cells, the cosmos is here, is around us, is kissing the surface of our bodies, is intimately engaged with us. Softening the top of your head, the space between your shoulders, your belly, breathing. Letting gravity have you. Drop into your bottom, the backs of your legs, your feet. Breathing in, I am a miracle made manifest. Don't worry if you believe it. Just drink the words as medicine. And if your body reacts, notice what you notice and breathe into it. I am a miracle made manifest. Can you allow yourself to become even more of a mystery to you? And can you allow the possibility that you actually are a miracle? Until we can open to the possibility, how can that miracle express itself? There is only one you for all of eternity. How is that not miraculous? I am a miracle made manifest. Breathe it in, into your belly. And really begin to soften your belly. Your lower back, your buttocks, the backs of your thighs. And then you're going to put your attention into your tailbone. And if you can't feel it, don't worry, just clench, like clench those muscles right at the bottom. And then just start the tiniest clockwise movements, like the smaller, the better, as if you're actually rotating. Well, you're not, you actually are rotating your tailbone. It's going to involve so many muscles to do this in such a tiny way. It takes all your attention down to the base of your spine. And as you start to rotate your tailbone in this tiny, it could be literally like 2 millimeters, or it could be a centimeter, or you may have to do it in a big way. It's up to you. But if you start that process of really slowly moving, you'll find the whole of your body starts to respond. It ups your intimacy with your physiology. It may change your breathing. And as small as those movements are, I'd like you to imagine that you're actually stirring your tailbone through the cosmos. So actually it's immense. And the reason why it needs to be so slow is because it is immense, this huge sweep of your tailbone. Letting the rest of your body completely soften and still around it. Just all your attention in your tailbone, which we're told is the home of the Kundalini. And just allow yourself to be aware that there is a vast intelligence, a huge energetic capacity in your tailbone. And right now you are bowing to it and you are lubricating it with movement. And you are allowing it to be immense. And as you feel it, literally imagine that you're holding the whole cosmos in your pelvis. This vast, creative, limitless space is sitting in your pelvis. And just breathe and let go. Keep spiraling. Whatever arises in your body, if there is discomfort or tension, breathe into it and then take your attention back into this intimate spiral. It's like your tailbone can become a wand that is seeking out or sourcing limitless cosmic energy. So as you're spiraling, start feeling as if you can literally breathe limitlessness up through your tailbone into your body, into your spine, into your belly, into your heart, into wherever it goes. It's like opening up another creative portal. And as you let go of what you think you know about yourself or what you have been, just allow yourself to simply be the ability to draw cosmic energy into your body. Why do we do this? We do this to nourish ourselves. We do this to strengthen ourselves. We do this to move into humility so that we can feel tiny in the face of everything. How does that help? It means that we can draw on support. It means that we can ask for support. It means that we don't feel like we have to do everything ourselves. It means we remember our place in the universe. We are tiny. We are insignificant. We are immense. We are magnificent. We are it all. There is no point trying to understand what we are. There is every point in experiencing what we are, and we are not limited beyond what our minds and our bodies tell us. So see if you can draw that cosmic energy straight up from your tailbone, right up your spine and out the top of your head. It's like wash out your spine. Bathe it in cosmic limitlessness. Find that central line in your body, that strong vertical axis. Let that energy run up through the top of your head and find the central sun. Find the sun. And feel recognized by the sun. Feel the sun's consciousness of you. And then as you breathe in, allow gentle, golden, transformational energy to pour in through the top of your head and run down that central axis. Notice what happens in your body, allowing whatever happens in your body. And this time finding as that energy runs down that you are sitting on this planet, that you are planted in this body, on this planet. The cosmos exists within you. But that energy from the central sun goes straight down through you, through your tailbone, down into the center of this earth. And you are rooted and anchored and supported and nourished, and you belong. And breathe and soften, and breathe and soften, and expand. In this moment, what are you? You are a conduit between heaven and earth. You are a limitless being full of the intelligence of all living things. You are an aspect of life incarnate now to bring your gifts. And do you have a question for the limitless energy that is moving through your body right now? And that question is, what is the greatest gift that I can be for the world right now? Ask the question and listen for what comes. What is the greatest gift that I can be for the world right now? See what happens in your body if you feel as if everything between you and that gift can fall away, like you're just dumping clothing on the ground and you're allowing that gift to grow in you. And it grows in you, and everything that is not needed falls away. Just breathe into it, give it breath, let it grow, water it. Let the sunlight from our central sun nourish it. Let the cosmos in your belly nourish it. Let it grow. Let that gift be the central thing in your awareness. You don't even have to understand it. We're just magically, alchemically allowing the birthing of something between us. So just include in your awareness the 200 plus people that are here that are also holding space for the gift that they are to arise in their awareness and their bodies. Let our togetherness amplify this awakening. Now breathe it right in, all the way down through your throat and your heart, into your belly, into your womb, if you have one, into your tailbone, into your legs. Like, be the embodiment of that thing, and then just start to move your fingers, start to move your arms, like start to twist your spine and breathe and feel yourself being that gift embodied. Let's bring ourselves back, knowing that that connection is there, that divine connection, that sacred connection from sun to earth through the gateway of our bodies. The immensity that is here, the silence and the space that is here inside our physiology and our emotionality, if we can let it be there. In any moment, you can close your eyes, drop down to your tailbone and spiral. In a moment of reactivity, in a moment of confusion, you can soften your whole body and bow. You can know that creativity exists in every cell, that your pelvis can be full of potential wisdom waiting to be received, that we can water ourselves simply by tuning into the cosmos that exists within us, or into any element of nature. That this central spine of you is part of your natural authority. And speaking from that place, rooted, undeniable, you do not care what anybody thinks, because you're simply transmitting what is there to be transmitted. And if you're rooted and in your heart, it will be worth transmitting. So just taking your time to come back, spiraling your spine in a more overt way can help. And you may want to put into the chat the greatest gift that you can be for the world right now. Yeah, musician. Bring that music through. Yeah. Is there a way they can have a recording of this meditation, Jocelyn? Hopefully so.
Absolutely. Of course. Yes. All of the replays will be posted later this evening, New York time. So depending where you are, definitely by tomorrow morning, you can access it again. Claire, I just want to share as we're coming out of this beautiful meditation, this incredible being, this tree that's over here, that's been watching over us, sharing its beautiful energy with us throughout. I've really felt its presence so strongly as you were sharing here today.
Thank you. I love this one. Superconductor of pyramid energy. Look at that. Magic of intimacy full of compassion. Silver spiral river, the conduit for what's coming through and what's needed. What I love about these is they're not limited. They're not trying to explain themselves. They're just an expression. They're an unbridled emanation of what's coming through us. Awareness transforming suffering into wisdom potential. How about that? How about that? I am awareness transforming suffering into wisdom potential. Gentle love, absolutely beautiful. The greatest gift, present, playful, and laughter. God, do we need more laughter in this world? So I'm hoping that there's permission in there and a tool in there for you to just further deepen your connection through your own physiology to immensity, and through immensity to permission and creativity and more of ourselves, and above all, this anchor into stillness and listening, through which we can bring a different quality of energy, attention, solutions, all of that. How was that for you, Jocelyn?
Yes, that was so beautiful. I'm still kind of spiraling. And yeah, I kind of had my eyes open and was just taking in the beauty of this place, and feeling that so strongly in my heart, in connection with the energy flow. It's really beautiful. Thank you, Claire.
It's my pleasure. I hope it answers what you asked of me to bring
Absolutely.
through.
You always over deliver, so I would never worry.
Good. Well, and I just want to let all of you know that right now, Tree Sisters, you know, the glorious being that is this feminine love affair with nature, is calling everybody into reciprocity. We're raising awareness of one of the primary needs to reforest being to giving the habitat back to these animals so that we can stop the spread of zoonotic diseases like we have now. But also we have a beautiful animation that would love for everybody to share. So I'm asking for your support. So in reciprocity, if you are ready to start giving to the planet, we are aiming to get to 15 million trees by the end of this year. We're just below 13 million now. It's going to take all of us. And my invitation is to bring your energy consciously in so that you're actually helping us reforest the tropics and are helping us to get the word out, and that we take the deep in breath that we've just taken, and that we can then have more energy to to contribute in some way. And this is a way that really matters, because our world is massively struggling now. And she needs more trees. She needs to cool down. She needs our presence and our attention and our awareness, and for us to start giving back. So those of you that don't know Tree Sisters, I would love you, love you, love you to step in and to start bringing your brilliance, your attention, your generosity, your creativity, the immensity and the magnificence that you are, into everything that we're doing. So thank you. Jocelyn's just posted the link to come in. I may pop in a little bit later and bring in the animation link for you all, which is just lovely little thing that we've just created.
Oh, wonderful.
And yeah,
Well, you have an amazing event tomorrow, October 27th, right?
we have an amazing event tomorrow. Yes, which, I mean, if you go to treesisters.org, you will, it's all over our front page. I'm hosting a panel with 5 extraordinary women. A Native American Dene woman activist, Pat McCabe, Women Stands Shining, who I just, every time she speaks, it's like my world changes. She's extraordinary. An Irish mystic and tree scientist, Diana Beresford Kroger, who is extraordinary again, who can tell us all the different ways that just hanging out with trees actually heals us by what they're emanating. She's amazing. We've got, I don't know what that noise is. We've got the head of the Women's Environmental Climate Action Network, Osprey, who is an activism on behalf of Indigenous activists. I'm having one of those out of control neighbor moments. We've also got, who else have we got? We've got the lady who is just founded, or she's not just founded, but we're just starting to fund in Borneo. We're just bringing on a new planting project in Borneo, which is ultimately for orangutans, replanting its peat swamp. So these areas that they're burning so much, we're just starting a new project. She's coming on as well. And there's another lady, oh, the CEO of Walida UK. So anthroposophical cosmetics. So this amazing, like, diverse group of women. And we're going to be having a really in-depth women's discussion about what's going on in the world. So it's a circle that you're all invited to. And I would love you to be able to share and get as many people on as possible, because with women like that, it's going to be a transmission. It's going to be a happening. We will not be the same afterwards. Like, we just won't be the same. And that's what I'm holding. I'm holding for it being like a transformational moment where I'm inviting all these women to speak from their absolute depth of their heart and their edge, so that each of us step forward in our aliveness and our vulnerability. Because if we're not going to do that, we're just going to talk about the same old, and it can't be that. So yeah, that's tomorrow. And please, please, please join us and spread the word. It would just be extraordinary.
Yes,
so
we will spread the word through this event too, definitely.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I encourage everybody, if you've been moved by this, if you're feeling this in your heart, go over to treesisters.org and make a donation, make a recurring monthly donation. I feel, Claire, this is one of the absolute most important things any of us can be doing right now. And it's so simple, you know.
It's so simple. It's so simple. We will plant your money in the tropics. The panel is at 11 a.m. Pacific tomorrow. So it's 6 p.m. in the UK, because their clocks have changed and ours haven't. But apart from that, it's all as it would be in the US. So yeah, and please, please, please start giving to the trees. It's such a no-brainer, and it's such a gift, and it's so satisfying. So yes. And take this gift, take this tool, take this understanding that you can align yourself cosmically. I know there'll be some of you that are already doing it, but understand just how much your body is a gateway to a different kind of intelligence, and use it. It's the only way I know of really coming out of the insanity and deeply into a centered place in your body where you can listen. We need to be listening so, so deeply. And we may even be able to convince Jocelyn to just take that meditation and somehow make it available as a tool ongoingly, if she's feeling lovely.
as a separate thing. Well, yes, I could. I mean, I was thinking, you know, the last time I interviewed you, Claire, I was so moved I just made it permanently available on YouTube. No, you know, not taking it down. And I would love to do that again with this interview and just let this be out there and everybody can see it, everybody can access it. But yeah, we could also edit and just let this meditation go out to people individually as part of the conference. So
I think that would be, if we could do both, that would be amazing.
yeah,
It'd be amazing.
yeah, we can
Thank
do
you
that.
so much. Thank you. Bless your heart, Jocelyn, for being so generous with me. I so appreciate it.
Well, I just think it's so important what you're doing. I mean, from my the all of my heart. So it is an honor. It is an honor to chat with you and share all that you are doing and sharing. So thank you. Thank you,
Oh,
Claire.
bless you.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much
Well,
for,
I'm gonna vanish.
yes.
I'm gonna vanish. So I send you all my love. I hope to see all of you inside of Tree Sisters. I hope to see as many as possible of you on the panel tomorrow.
Yes, have
And
an amazing event tomorrow. Those are 5 extremely powerful women plus you. So yes, that will be a transmission for sure.
it's gonna be a thing. And yes, so lots of love.
Yes, much love. Bye.
Bye.
Wow. Well, everybody, I hope you can see me. The light's a little off to the side. Thank you all so much for being on live today, for joining me here. This has been such a pleasure to share with you all. So there's more. This is the end of the live broadcast for today, October 26th, but we're going to start up tomorrow again at 9:30 a.m. New York time. So same time as today, same Zoom link, same Facebook group if you prefer to join that way. And I can't wait to share with you who we have on tomorrow. Let me just give you a little summary of tomorrow so that you will know what's coming up. So we're going to, first of all, open sacred space with the calling of the 7 directions. Verdeluz is going to do that. He provides the most amazing, incredible, inspiring, moving 7 directions calling. So you don't want to miss that at 9:30. And then we have Amy Elizabeth speaking on transforming authority, what we can learn from Pluto and Capricorn, and a discussion about the children born during the Pluto and Capricorn transit from 2008 to 2024. And then Verdeluz is going to share an ambient guitar sound healing journey. It's going to be extremely powerful. You'll want to really sink into that. And then we will have Dr. Taria Ward speaking about field consciousness, finding voice for the unacknowledged presence. That will be at 1 p.m. New York time. And then we have Daniel Schenken on the topic, preparing to enter the company of saints with psychedelics. He is an extremely powerful and really outside of the box thinker. He's so much fun. You're gonna love his presentation. That's at 2:30 p.m. New York time. And then Peggy, I think, is probably still on the call. We have Peggy Moore speaking about a journey down the ancient spirit road, a path to the sacred at 4 p.m. New York time. And then we have Ameya Cohen and Achintya Devi, the Rose Lineage Priestess Mysteries is what they will be presenting on. And so that will be at 6 p.m. New York time. So I can't wait to share all of that with you tomorrow. And even before that, there are 3 more interviews that will be available today. So there's an email about to go out, but you can also access this through the festival schedule page. So if you're here live on Zoom, I'll put that link here. There are 3 interviews that are just coming available now. And those are from Lotus Sky. She is speaking about the Earth Warrior Way and providing a music as medicine musical channeling. And Dr. John Ryan, who I know many of you in my audience know really well, he's presenting an incredible talk on the alchemy of spirit through your quantum DNA. So these that I'm mentioning right now are available immediately, right at this moment. And then the amazing Aisha Ophelia speaking about dream weaving, how dreams connect us to our purpose. So if you go to that schedule link I just put in the chat, or if you just keep an eye on your email and click the links in that email, it will take you right to these additional interviews. So I hope you will enjoy all of this. I hope you've really, really enjoyed today. I am sending so much love and blessings out to all of you, and I will see you first thing tomorrow morning. Lots of love, everybody. Mwah. And donate to Tree Sisters, don't forget. It's so important. Okay, lots of love. Bye.